Donald Trump is a name that sparks strong opinions. Whether you admire his boldness or criticize his policies, there's no denying his influence on the American economy. Today, we're diving into Trump's vision for reshaping the economy, his strategies for creating growth, and the controversies that surround his ideas. Buckle up, because we're exploring the policies that could shape the future of America. The vision for the American economy. Donald Trump's economic philosophy is rooted in the concept of a booming America, built on three central pillars: revitalizing American manufacturing, reducing government intervention in business, prioritizing fair trade over free trade to protect American workers. Trump has positioned himself as a champion of economic growth and job creation, focusing on empowering domestic industries and cutting through red tape. Let's take a closer look at his key economic strategies. Tax reform, cutting to grow. One of the hallmarks of Trump's economic approach is tax reform. During his presidency, he introduced the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which slashed corporate tax rates from 35% to 21%. Trump argues that lower taxes create a domino effect. Businesses invest more, hire more workers, and ultimately drive economic growth. If he were to return to office, Trump has hinted at even more tax cuts, particularly for individuals and middle-income earners. He also aims to simplify the tax code further to reduce the burden on businesses and individuals alike. However, critics of these tax cuts highlight two major concerns. They disproportionately benefit large corporations and the wealthy, leaving middle-class Americans with relatively modest benefits. They contribute to the growing federal deficit, which ballooned significantly during his presidency. Trump counters this criticism by claiming that the economic growth generated by tax cuts offsets the deficit, a claim that remains a subject of heated debate. Trade policy. Putting America first. Trump's trade policies have been among the most polarizing aspects of his economic agenda. His approach focuses on renegotiating trade deals, imposing tariffs, and addressing trade imbalances. During his presidency, Trump initiated the U.S.-China trade war, introducing tariffs on Chinese goods to reduce the trade deficit and protect American industries. Supporters saw this as a necessary step to curb what Trump described as unfair trade practices. However, tariffs also raised prices on consumer goods and agricultural products, leading to mixed results for the American economy. Looking forward, Trump's trade agenda includes renegotiating international agreements to prioritize American workers and businesses, increasing tariffs on imports to encourage domestic production, creating more bilateral trade deals to replace multilateral agreements like the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which Trump exited in 2017. The question remains, can these policies truly protect American jobs, or do they risk alienating trade partners and increasing costs for American consumers? Energy policy, energy independence, or environmental setback.
American energy dominance.
Trump's economic vision is closely tied to energy policy. He strongly supports expanding domestic oil drilling, fracking, and coal production. He believes that achieving energy independence, relying solely on domestic energy sources, makes the U.S. more secure and economically robust. Critics, however, argue that this emphasis on fossil fuels is out of step with global trends toward renewable energy. They warn that doubling down on oil and coal could have significant environmental consequences and undermine the transition to green energy. Trump defends his policies by pointing to the economic benefits: lower energy prices for American consumers, job creation in traditional energy industries, reduced reliance on foreign energy sources, particularly from countries with unstable or hostile regimes, immigration and its economic implications. Immigration is another area where Trump ties his policies directly to economic goals. His stricter immigration policies, including limits on work visas and efforts to build the border wall, are based on the idea of protecting American jobs and wages. Trump argues that reducing the influx of foreign labor prevents downward pressure on wages, particularly for low-income workers. Critics, however, highlight several economic downsides: labor shortages in key industries like agriculture, healthcare, and technology. Reduced contributions to the U.S. economy by immigrant workers who fill roles Americans often don't take. Immigration remains a deeply divisive issue, with strong arguments on both sides. Trump's supporters see his policies as necessary to protect American workers, while opponents view them as detrimental to industries reliant on immigrant labor. Infrastructure spending. Building America.
On what we're going to be discussing today, which is infrastructure.
Trump has repeatedly emphasized the importance of rebuilding America's infrastructure. From roads and bridges to airports and broadband networks, infrastructure investment has the potential to boost economic growth while creating jobs. During his presidency, Trump proposed a $1 trillion infrastructure plan. While parts of the plan didn't fully materialize, he has pledged to renew his focus on infrastructure if given another term. Large-scale infrastructure projects often require increased government spending, which adds to the national debt. Despite this, infrastructure remains one of the few areas where bipartisan agreement seems possible, as both parties recognize the urgent need for upgrades. Deregulation. Freedom for businesses.
We have undertaken a historic effort to massively reduce job-crushing regulations.
Trump's push for deregulation is a cornerstone of his economic agenda. From rolling back environmental protections to easing restrictions on industries, he believes that reducing government interference allows businesses to thrive. Supporters argue that deregulation lowers costs for businesses, encourages entrepreneurship and innovation, speeds up infrastructure projects and other developments. However, critics warn that deregulation can come at a cost, including weakened environmental protections, reduced worker safety, and risks to consumer rights. Trump views these trade-offs as necessary for driving economic growth. Controversies and criticisms. Of course, Trump's economic policies are not without their controversies. Critics point to rising income inequality, exacerbated by tax cuts that largely benefited the wealthy. A ballooning national debt, which surpassed $27 trillion during his presidency. Mixed results from the trade war, which led to higher consumer prices without fully addressing trade imbalances. Despite these challenges, Trump maintains a loyal base of supporters who credit him with creating a booming pre-pandemic economy and pushing policies that prioritize American workers. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Trump's economic policies, be sure to subscribe for more discussions on politics, economics, and global events. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next video.